Okay, I think I fixed the video cutoff thing that's been happening. Oh, God bless any of you who've had the patience to stick with me. All right, well, let's just jump into Exodus 15. We're at Exodus 15, verses 20 on. And Lord, enlighten us. There's Henny being very cute. Okay. So let's start at verse 20. And Miriam, the prophetess, Aaron's sister, took the timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dancing. And Miriam answered them, "Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. The horse and his rider he has hurled into the sea." Then Moses led Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur, and they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore it was named Marah. So the people grumbled at Moses, saying, "What shall we drink?" Then he cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree, and he threw it into the waters, and the waters became sweet. There he made for them a statute and a regulation, and there he tested them. And he said, "If you will give earnest heed to the voice of the Lord your God, and do what is right in his sight, and give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of the diseases on you which I have put on the Egyptians, for I, the Lord, am your healer." Then they came to Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 date palms, and they camped there beside the waters. It's the end of Exodus chapter 15. And the thing that stands out, of course, is that he says that the Lord says, "I am your healer." Interesting. They, were just celebrating the Red Sea, parting of the Red Sea, and Miriam's like taking her tambourine and dancing, and then leading all the women in dancing with tambourines and singing. And I would love to hear what that song sounded like. We have the lyrics, but I don't think we know what the melody is or what it sounded like, but I imagine it was just like really, really fun and joyful. But then no sooner had they celebrated than they were like, "Wait, we're thirsty. We don't have water." And then, of course, they're led to the springs and the date palms, but I don't know. Interesting. I guess that I think about my own life and how I've celebrated a miracle and, a big one. Deliverance from death, basically. Miraculous deliverance from the Lord, which I'll share one day when the time is right. But yet, no, it's like another challenge confronts me, and then I'm like, where are you, God? Yeah. I'm pretty much related to the children of Israel, I would say. All right, let's go on to Luke. Oh, sorry. I am so sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Henny. Luke chapter 10, verses 29 on. Go put your head back down, Henny. Luke. Turning pages. Henry. Sorry. What did I say? Luke verses 29 on. Okay, I don't think we'll have the cutoff anymore, so thank God. Luke 10:29 on. Okay. All right. So there is the context is this gentleman is asking Jesus, well, who's my neighbor really? So verse 29, but wishing to justify himself, he said to Jesus, and who is my neighbor? Jesus replied and said, a certain man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he fell among robbers, and they stripped him and beat him and went off, leaving him half dead. And by chance, a certain priest was going down on that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan who was on a journey came upon him, and when he saw him, he felt compassion and came to him and bandaged up his wounds, pouring oil and wine on them. And he put him on his own beast and brought him to an inn and took care of him. And on the next day he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper and said, take care of him, and whatever more you spend when I return, I will repay you. Which of these there do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell into the robber's hands? And he said, the one who showed mercy toward him. And Jesus said to him, go and do the same. Now, as they were traveling along, he entered a certain village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. And she had a sister called Mary, who moreover was listening to the Lord's word seated at his feet. But Martha was distracted with all her preparations, and she came up to him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the serving alone? Then tell her to help me. But the Lord answered and said to her, Martha, Martha, you are worried and bothered about so many things, but only a few things are necessary. Really only one. For Mary has chosen the good part, which shall not be taken away from her. Okay, that's the end of Luke 10. We made it through at last, Luke 10. Of course, I love the Martha and Mary story because I always feel like Mary because I just I sit a lot. I hope I'm sitting at Jesus's feet more than not. I'm not exactly a Martha, but I am kind of a Martha. No, I take that back because I worry about, I'm worried, I worry a lot and I'm bothered about a lot of things. Yeah, I think I'm both. But yeah, there's a lot of Martha in me in terms of worry. Anyway, I hope you all have a pleasant day. And God bless you. And hopefully moving forward with my little YouTube channel, I'll be able to not have the video cut off anymore. God willing, and the rivers don't rise. And what's the other thing I'm going to do? Oh, yeah, I want to go back to reading a chapter in the Old Testament or a chapter in the Hebrew Scriptures and a chapter in the New Testament. So we'll return to that schedule. All right, everyone. God